To make sure that everyone's safe on site and regulations are being followed, monitoring's got to be done. This is done anytime there's a question of employee exposure to hazards to make sure that the correct engineering controls, work practices, and personal protective equipment are being used. Air monitoring is done to identify and quantify airborne levels of hazardous substances. The first monitoring should be done upon initial entry to the site. This is going to be done to determine any what we call immediately dangerous to life or health, or IDLH conditions. Examples would include exposure over published limit, exposure over a radioactive materials dose limit, or other dangerous conditions like flammable materials or oxygen-deficient environments. Now, periodic monitoring should also be done anytime that there's suspected change in an IDLH condition, or if a flammable substance has been detected, or maybe there's an indication that exposure levels have actually risen above those published limits. Periodic monitoring should also be done when work begins on a different part of the site. New contaminants are being handled, a different type of operation is started, or employees are handling leaking drums or containers, or they're in areas with liquid contamination. Okay, finally, monitoring of high-risk employees needs to be done once the cleanup phase of the operation starts. Employers must monitor those workers who are likely to have the highest exposure to hazardous materials. This is going to be done through frequent personal sampling to monitor employee exposure. If you have one employee that's found to be over the published exposure limits, that monitoring must continue to determine all employees who are also over the limit. An established monitoring policy has got to describe what's being monitored, the equipment used, and how often monitoring is going to occur. A successful monitoring protocol can help determine if a risk is present before it becomes a serious hazard.